The sound of a Belgian Malinois hitting a jute bite sleeve isn't a growl. It is a rhythmic, percussive thud followed by the high-pressure compression of canvas and polymer. To the casual observer, the flared nostrils, the vibrating larynx, and the exposed canines signify a creature consumed by a primitive, uncontrollable fury. It looks like hatred. It looks like a loss of sanity. But if you look at the biometric telemetry, the heart rate variability, the cortisol levels, and the precise dilation of the pupils, you see something entirely different. You aren't watching a dog that has lost its mind. You are watching a biological masterpiece operating at the absolute zenith of its cognitive and physical capacity. In the world of high-tier tactical K9s, the greatest misconception is that these dogs are aggressive. The truth is far more complex, far more disciplined, and rooted in a deep ethological divide that separates the modern working dog from the unstable predators people fear. When we see a dog lunging at the end of a lead, our human brains categorize that behavior through the lens of our own emotions. We assume the dog is angry. We assume it wants to hurt someone because of a perceived grievance. This is the cinematic illusion of malice, the idea that canine work is fueled by an emotional desire to cause harm. In reality, a stable, high-level working dog feels about as much anger toward a suspect as a professional sprinter feels toward the track. For the dog, this is not a personal vendetta. It is the ultimate expression of a genetically programmed sequence. The snarl isn't a sign of emotional instability. It's a physiological byproduct of high-arousal respiration. When a dog is pushing its cardiovascular system to the limit to maintain a full mouth grip, the facial muscles retract to maximize oxygen intake. What we interpret as a scary face is actually a mechanical optimization for airflow. To understand the truth about canine aggression, we have to tear down the wall between two distinct biological systems, prey drive and defensive aggression. These are the twin engines of canine behavior, but they run on entirely different chemical fuels. Prey drive is essentially the hunting sequence: search, stalk, chase, grab, and kill. It is a dopamine-driven process. Feels good to the dog. It is the same drive that makes a border collie obsess over a tennis ball or a greyhound sprint after a mechanical hare. When a tactical canine is sent to apprehend a fleeing suspect, they are almost always operating in a state of pure prey drive. Their focus is laser-sharp, their movements are fluid, and their brain is bathed in the rewarding chemicals of the hunt. This is why a well-trained dog can transition from a high-speed takedown to a calm sit in a matter of seconds. There is no lingering resentment, because there was no anger to begin with. Defensive aggression, or defense, is the dark mirror to prey drive. This is triggered by a perceived threat to the dog's survival. It is fueled by adrenaline and cortisol, and it is governed by the amygdala, the brain's fear center. A dog in a defensive state is loud, frantic, and often shows thin nerves. They aren't biting because they want to win. They are biting because they are afraid they might die. In the world of elite canine handling, we view pure defensive aggression as a liability. A dog that operates solely on defense is unpredictable and difficult to control because fear overrides the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for listening to commands. The truth that most people miss is that a professional canine is a high-prey animal, not a high-defense animal. We look for dogs that view the fight as a game they are winning, rather than a battle for survival they are losing. This brings us to the internal chemistry of the mission, the autonomic toggle. A human handler's job is essentially that of a biological thermostat. We are constantly modulating the dog's neurotransmitter spikes in real time. During a high-stakes deployment, a dog's nervous system is a battlefield of sympathetic and parasympathetic responses. We see the sympathetic nervous system take over as the dog prepares for the bite. Heart rate climbs, peripheral vision narrows, and the blood is shunted from the digestive organs to the skeletal muscles. This is the arousal curve. If the dog's arousal goes too high, they enter a state of over-threshold behavior where they can no longer process auditory information. They become deaf to the handler's voice because the brain has prioritized sensory input over cognitive processing. The secret to the elite canine is the ability to maintain clear-headedness at the peak of that arousal curve. We achieve this through meticulous operant conditioning, using the bite itself as the reward for environmental neutrality. We teach the dog that the only way to satisfy the massive dopamine spike of the hunt is to remain perfectly obedient to the handler. This creates a fascinating neurological paradox. The dog is at its most ferocious and its most disciplined at the exact same moment. They are processing olfactory data, navigating complex terrain like broken glass or slick floors, and discriminating between a decoy and a civilian, all while their brain is screaming for the release of the grab. One of the most remarkable aspects of this controlled aggression is target discrimination under extreme stress. A common fear is that a police dog is a landmine that will go off on anyone nearby. The ethological reality is that a stable working dog is remarkably discerning. This is due to the incredible density of their olfactory receptors, up to 300 million in some breeds, and the way their brain processes scent even when their adrenaline is spiking. A tactical canine isn't just looking for a person. They are often looking for a specific scent profile or a specific set of behaviors. Through environmental neutrality training, we expose these dogs to thousands of non-threatening stimuli: crying children, running crowds, domestic animals, and loud machinery. We teach the dog that these things are background noise. They are zero-value targets. When the dog is finally deployed, they aren't just biting the first thing they see. They are filtering the world through a high-speed biological processor. They are looking for the anomaly, the person running, the person hiding, the person exhibiting the specific olfactory signature of high-stress pheromones. Even in the chaos of a dark building with sirens blaring and flashbangs detonating, the dog's brain is performing a constant target versus non-target analysis. This is not the behavior of a vicious animal. It is the behavior of a specialized sensory analyst. But the ultimate proof of control, and the moment that most clearly separates canine work from raw aggression, is the out. This is the moment when the handler gives the command to release the grip. For a dog in the middle of a high-arousal encounter, releasing a bite is the most difficult thing in the world. Every fiber of their evolutionary being is telling them to hold on. Yet, a professional canine will let go instantly, often transitioning into a guard position where they watch the suspect with intense focus but zero physical contact. This transition is what we call tactical empathy. It isn't empathy in the human sense of feeling sorry for the suspect. Rather, it is a profound neural sync between the dog and the handler. The dog has learned to value the handler's marker cue, the signal that the job is done, more than the physical sensation of the bite. This off switch is the definitive debunking of the aggressive dog myth. A truly aggressive, unstable dog cannot out on command. A dog that is biting out of a lack of control cannot simply turn it off because their brain is locked in a recursive loop of fear or rage. The fact that a tactical canine can stop on a dime proves that the entire sequence is a highly regulated cognitive performance. The bond between the handler and the canine is the foundation of this control. It is not built on dominance or fear, as outdated training myths might suggest. It is built on a mutual understanding of the work. The dog views the handler as the person who provides the opportunity for the high-arousal play of the mission. In the dog's mind, the handler is the director of the hunt. This creates a level of trust that is almost unparalleled in the animal kingdom. When we send a dog into a dark room, they aren't going in because they are mean. They are going in because they know that they and their handler are a single tactical unit. They trust the handler to manage the environment, and the handler trusts the dog to manage the threat. This relationship also involves a deep commitment to the dog's physical and psychological welfare. We understand the mechanics of bite pressure distribution, how a dog uses its molars for a full grip to prevent injury to both itself and the suspect. We monitor their acoustic sensitivity, ensuring that we don't blow out their hearing during training. We use protective equipment, like canine body armor and specialized goggles, because these dogs are not disposable assets. They are elite team members. The truth about canine aggression is that it is actually a story of incredible care. We protect their minds as much as their bodies. We ensure that they never become burnt out or soured by the work. We keep the game fun for them, because a dog that is happy in its work is a dog that is safe, controllable, and effective. In the end, what people call aggression in a working canine is really just intensity. It is the outward manifestation of a creature that has found its purpose. These dogs are the descendants of wolves, but they have been shaped by thousands of years of partnership with humans to become something more. They are the only animals on Earth that will willingly run toward gunfire, not out of a death wish, but out of a deep-seated drive to complete a task for their human partner. When you see a canine in the field, don't look for the malice. Look for the focus. Look for the way the dog watches the handler's every micro-movement. Look for the wagging tail that often accompanies a high-speed search, a sign of pure, unadulterated joy in the work. The truth is that these dogs are the ultimate athletes of the canine world. They are capable of a level of restraint that most humans can't achieve. They can go from a state of total physical combat to a state of calm social neutrality in the blink of an eye. They are not beasts to be feared. They are a testament to what is possible when we stop trying to break a dog's spirit and instead learn to speak the language of their drives. They are the silent partners, the sensory extensions of our own limited reach, and their aggression is nothing more than the focused energy of a guardian who knows exactly when to fight and exactly when to stop.